And one other thing I want to do today, but just try to get it out of the way, is normally we get 3 steers right there around Thanksgiving every year. Considering I ain't got no money this year, I'm gonna go back to making my own feed this year. So this year we're gonna be the epitome of farm to table on our beef anyway. And one other thing I want to do today, but just try to get it out of the way, is normally we get 3 steers right there around Thanksgiving every year. And well, this year with the high price of cattle, I'm gonna try and get my steers a little bit earlier this year, buy them at a little bit lower weight. They're gonna be going for over $3 a pound. So, if I buy them an extra, 25 days earlier, that could be, say they're gaining 2 pounds per day. That'd be 50 less pounds per steer that I have to pay for, $150 a steer. 3 steers save me $450, so we're going to go ahead and get them a little earlier, go ahead and get them on feed, keep them on feed a little bit longer, and try and get them to be some pretty good sized steers this year. In the last few years, just for time and convenience sake, I've been buying my feed from co-op, just because I didn't have a whole lot of time to make my own feed. But considering I ain't got no money this year, I've got 76,000 bushels of very cheap corn in the bin. I'm gonna go back to making my own feed this year. So we went and borrowed my neighbor's grinder mixer, the one I buy the steers from, brought it up here. And we're gonna make our own feed. We're gonna grind about 4 tons of corn, mix it with some tenderloin concentrate, and I can do that for less than half the cost of buying the equivalent feed from co-op. So every penny counts this year, and we're trying to save it. Yeah, it's gonna cost me an afternoon's worth of work, but hey, if I can save a few bucks, still get the same performance, it makes sense to do it, because I got a whole lot of cheap corn down there, so might as well put it to good use. So this year we're going to be the epitome of farm to table on our beef anyway. So anyway, we already got our feed trailer, the one that Carter replaced the tires on this summer. We've already got it moved from the shed up there to the barn. We got our cattle mixer. We got our seed tender empty of wheat, got it washed out. So now we need to go get some corn in the seed tender, and then we'll start grinding. All while Andy's getting the water truck, putting the Roundup and chemicals on the water truck and getting loaded up to spray 40 acres a week. All right, what we're going to use to get the corn out of the grain bin is our seed tender here, and we got scales on there. So we're going to put 8,000 pounds of corn there in the seed tender, and should give us exactly what we need. First thing I need to do is open our loadout bin. All right. A couple videos ago I told you about the mess we made at the grain bin. I really didn't feel like filming it. Well, here's what's left over from it. We had corn all the way out to here. Let me show you where the door to the bin is. All of this was completely submerged in corn, and here's the door. It was this type inner door right here that was left open, and like I said, we got corn almost all the way to the top. So we literally had to drain the corn all the way from up there down here until it reached here, and then we had to suck out enough from in here to where we could pull this door closed, because it opens to the inside. So basically we had to suck the level down to this door right here. And like I said, I'm estimating is at least 17,000 bushels. It could have been more, but I showed you the edge of the corn over there. And then, I mean, it was all the way out here. Like I said, all of this was completely submerged in corn. Anyway, because it was submerged in corn, I hope all of our motors and stuff still work. So, and it does. We're gonna try and ease it out till everything gets flicked up. We don't want to choke this up. And now we're just gonna go up here and just open the door on the loadout bin so it can gravity feed. And I know about when I've got 8,000 bushels or 8,000 pounds there in the seed tender. Apparently there's already some in the loadout bin. Looks like there might be a few soybeans mixed in there too. There you go, that thing's already almost full. That's showing us at 65.80, so we're getting close. So I'll go ahead and shut the unload off on the bin here. That'll be well over 8,000 pounds there. Yeah, 9,000, that'll be more than enough. All right, we got that. Let's get the grinder fired up. This thing only holds 4,000 pounds of corn. We're going through this in 2 separate batches. Close to 4,000 pounds in there. She's just about full. We got to add one more thing to this. So, all right, we got to add in our tender lean concentrate. And basically what this is, it's a feed additive. You know, got some nutrients, protein, other stuff in there. But the main thing it's got in there is monensin, which is an antibiotic for cattle. And to the best of my knowledge, it's just keep the steers healthy, but also that monensin is supposed to help increase the weight gain on this grain right here. So recommended feed rate is 1.5 pounds per head per day. And our steers historically eat somewhere around 30 pounds of corn every day. So So for 8,000 pounds, I'm gonna need roughly 8 bags. I got 5 bags here. I miscalculated this morning. Kelly's going to get another 3 bags, but we're gonna add 4 bags of this in this batch. And we're not gonna grind it into pelleted form. We're gonna open up this hatch right here. And it goes right there at the auger, and basically it just gets mixed up in this tank right here. Now you look at here, you can see some of those pellets kind of mixed in with it. So now we got this filled up. Haul it up here to the barn with the trailer, repeat again. All right, we got everything up here to the barn, and I don't know if you can see way over there on top of the hill, Andy's over there spraying the wheat. Before we get started unloading, let's see how bad he's cutting the fields up. Well, it's not great, but it could sure be a whole lot worse. Definitely leaving some tracks in the fields, but considering we got 3 inches of slow rain a day and a half ago, this ground is holding up nicely. I mean, that's why we no-till, guys, so we can get in the field earlier than most everybody else around here. I mean, and this ground was ripped last fall, so I mean, it's holding us up nicely. Now there's going to be some worse spots in the low-lying areas and whatnot, but overall, it's not doing as much damage as what I thought. And sure not going to do as much damage as spraying Roundup right after that wheat is starting to spike the top of the soil there. So, not ideal, but we making it work. All right, look at those clouds over back behind me. We better hurry up and get this corn on the trailer and under the shed. I don't know how much time we got. All right, let me show you our feed operations. All you cattle guys gonna laugh at me because we are most definitely not set up to handle cattle. We can make it work, but it's a whole lot harder than what it should be. So what we're gonna do is, this is our feed trailer right here. This will hold roughly 4 tons of ground corn. We got this narrow little slot to back the trailer into. Like you see, the fence is right next to it, so the only way we can get it in, because it's got to go up a slight incline there, is hook it to the front weight bracket here on our big tractor and push it in. We can steer it a whole lot better and maneuver it up in there. We did try doing this with the 800 one year, but that tractor is just too small and light, and it wouldn't do it. So I know that one will either do it or it'll rip the tongue off trying. So engage our PTO. See how many mice come out of the auger there, because my neighbor told me the last time this got used was when I used it, last time I ground feed, several years, at least 3 years ago. Oh, there we go. So anyway, that's what that ground up corn looks like. Got some pellets mixed in there with it. This auger will stay in one place. That's what 4,000 pounds of ground corn looks like. Let's hurry up and get back up to the gin, do it all over again. All right, that's a load of feed right there. 4 tons of corn. Not bad on 4 farm tires. All right, then you're gonna try and back her up here in this slot. Hopefully it don't fold the tongue like a Coke can. I reinforced it this summer. gonna have some good eating on the first day. One chore out of the way. Now all that's left to do is lock this place up, go get the steers, and probably do that here in a couple of days. It's supposed to rain all day tomorrow, so that's going to be it for today. All right, all the rains have finally moved out, and the good old sun is shining again like 5 days later. So we wound up getting over another inch of rain Tuesday night and yesterday, and we definitely gonna be out of the field for a few days till it dries back up and get back to planting some wheat. So Andy got all this thing blown off and picked clean, and she's ready for the pressure washer now. We're gonna get a head start on getting our equipment cleaned up and parked away for the winter, and this is the only thing that we're completely done with for the year. So it's also one of my biggest washing projects. So next 2 days, we're gonna try and get this thing completely clean, shined, and ready to put away for the winter. Andy also got a head start on getting our disaster of a shop straightened up, cleaned up, and organized. Let me tell you folks, it had gotten bad this fall. When it's dry most of the fall, you spend every waking moment in the field, and the only time you're in the shop is for quick repairs. A lot of times things just don't get put up where they're supposed to go, and it's hard to keep it clean, but finally gonna have something that we can actually get something done in for the rest of the year until it's time to pull everything out of the shop and give it a complete 100% overhaul. So anyway, I'm gonna get started washing on this, and maybe I'll have a chance before we get to the wheat field to carry you to the canola field, show you what that canola looks like, cause it's coming on pretty strong, I believe. So happy Halloween, folks. As I was walking out the door this morning, Kelly asked me, well, what are you going to dress up today on Halloween? I told her today, I'm going to dress up as a cattle farmer. That's right, we're going to go pick up the steers today. So Andy, you dressing up as a cattle farmer today on Halloween too?
I was about to say, my costume's a cowboy.
Yeah, we're gonna go pick up our normal allotment of steers, 3 steers that we get every year for beef for us and a few other families. And what we're going to do is we're gonna go over here, pick them up, load them up on the trailer, go weigh full, and then we got to drop one off at a time, go back to the gin and weigh again to figure out the weights of each of the steers. So it's going to be kind of a long process, but I'm going with Andy to pick them up, then we'll weigh, drop one off, and then turn it over to him to go back and weigh and drop the rest of them off. Yeah, I'll stand here, if you will, be on the other side to catch the gate. Hey. I had to tie that handle down. Dang, got me.
This turn around. Back out. Ease me down.
Come on out. Ha!
All right.
One out. Success. All right, guys, I was hoping we would be blowing and going in the field planting wheat, but unfortunately not. Just as ground was almost getting close enough to plant Saturday afternoon, we got another 2/10 of an inch of rain. So been sunny all day yesterday, all day today. I'm gonna go out here and check the fields here in a minute. Hopefully they're getting close enough to be able to plant again, but we got the point of year, things don't dry up fast. We got, you know, over 5 inches of rain last week. I mean, it's going to take a while to dry out. So anyway, so today we got the rest of this sucker spick and span. I mean, she's looking about as good as a 15-year-old cotton picker can look. I mean, we got it good. So we still got to blow filters out. We got to change the antifreeze in it. It's due for that. We got to clean the cab out. But other than that, the big job's done. But we do have one other thing we're going to try to get done today. We need to winterize the moisture system on it. Now, it's no secret that farmers are broke. We ain't got a lot of money to spend, and normally winterizing the moisture system on these pickers, it can get a little pricey, because the recommended practice is just to get some antifreeze, mix it with the water, run it throughout the moisture system to keep all your lines and pumping stuff from bursting. But antifreeze ain't cheap. It's not super expensive. I mean, but if we can save, you know, $30–40 worth of antifreeze, get this thing winterized perfectly, that's what we're going to do. So anyway, I've done this to all my pickers, and I did it to this one as soon as we bought it. But what I did was I added this air valve right here in line. We got the suction line coming from the tanker right here, and then it goes through here, the filter, and then over to the pump and all throughout the line. So what we're going to use is air to blow this thing out rather than spending money on antifreeze. Now, I know there'll probably be some people on there say, no, you need to keep the system wet, you need to put antifreeze in it, otherwise your seals and stuff will dry out, you'll have leaks, all that kind of stuff. That's never happened to us. I mean, we had this on our 9965, we had it on our 9986, we now got it on our 7760. We've been doing this for years and have absolutely no problems with it whatsoever. Anyway, we got our air compressor built up, grab our hose. And all we did was we put a quick connect fitting right there on the end, and then we've got it the valve to our tank shut off, so all the pressure is going to go out through the nozzles. Then all we got to do, open this valve up. Well, apparently I forgot to hit record, but anyway, you can see right here, this thing's been running, I don't know, about 45 seconds, and pretty much all the water is blown out of the line here. Now we still need to go up here to the cab and hit the button for our flush valve and blow out our flush valve line. So that's going to be half the system. We definitely don't want to forget about that. Also, our bleed valve right here, open it up. Just make sure we get all the air out of the system. We'll take our filter off, so it'll leave a little bit of water there on the bottom of that. And then the valve on the bottom of our pump, we want to open it. Any water there in the bottom of the pump come on out, which is pretty dry. And anyway, that's how we winterize the system on our cotton pickers. Very quick and very cheap. All it costs is a few bucks a parts to put in this air valve in line, and I don't know why John Deere does not do that from the factory. heck of a lot easier and heck of a lot cheaper than messing with antifreeze. All right, I promised y'all a quick look at the canola before I ended this video, so let's go take a real quick look at it, see what it looks like. I want y'all to look at that. I am thrilled how good this canola looks. I mean, we got a dang good stand. I mean, definitely thick enough to make a crop on. Now we got a lot of other stuff growing out here, namely volunteer corn that you see right there. We did spray Roundup, which this was all behind conventional corn. We did spray Roundup to kill the corn that was out here, but with all the rain that we've had some more volunteer corn come up, and with it being November 3rd, there shouldn't be any corn out here. We should have had a killing frost long before now. Our historical first frost date is normally around October 15th. And well, but last night we actually got a very light frost in some areas. And you can tell right there, it nipped the corn back pretty good. I doubt it was cold enough to kill it, but it sure nipped it back. And surely a good killing frost ain't gonna be that far away, but look at that canola right there. And we got a lot of hen bit and stuff popping up, but it's not going to be a problem for the canola. The canola is going to outcompete it. And actually, canola puts out allelopathic substances through its roots to hinder any kind of weed competition with canola. So, I mean, what everybody tells me that's growing canola, we shouldn't have to do any herbicide passes on it whatsoever. You know, this hen bit is not going to compete with canola. So as you can tell, I mean, the canola is off to the races. It's going to definitely outcompete any hen bit out here. But you know, if it looks like greens to you, I mean, basically that's kind of what it is. Canola is a brassica, just like your mustard greens, just like a radish, just like a turnip, just like that whole kind of family. That's what canola is. It's a brassica, and this is what it's going to look like. So overall, I'm tickled pink with the stand. I'm really pleased with the way that the job the planter did, and I was kind of worried there because initially when this stuff was just starting to come up, the rows that was planted with the rear units was coming up really good to a good stand, but the front units was not coming up very good at all. And come to find out is I was adding a little bit of air down pressure on the row cleaners to the rear units, and they did a better job of moving the corn residue out of the way than what the row cleaners on the front units did, and I was able to get more accurate seed placement on it. Plus, I mean, we had gotten the rain, but we were still in the midst of a drought, so the soil dried out pretty quick. But overall, once we got another good rain, the seed in the front units, I mean, it came on strong. And right now I couldn't look down through here and tell you this row came from a front unit, this row came from a rear unit, or anything like that. I mean, it looks really good. It's off to a good start. Am I doing everything right on it now? I don't know. But we're going to learn, and y'all going to learn right there along with me. And I've already had several commenters give me some really good advice on growing canola. One commenter was giving me some tips on managing sulfur in canola, because canola apparently is a pretty big has a pretty big demand for sulfur, and we need to up our sulfur ratio in relation to our nitrogen ratio. So I've already made some planned changes on what we're going to do on side dressing to try and ensure that we get more sulfur down here, more than what we're normally used to applying to our wheat crop and whatever. Probably also going to do maybe some foliar applications of sulfur too on this, just to try and help this canola reach its maximum potential. So overall, I'm tickled with it. I have no idea what our wheat crop's going to look like. That 40 acres we already got planted before the rain, now 9 days ago, and it's been nothing but wet since then. I don't know if it's going to come up or not. We haven't got any more wheat planted, and when we do plant wheat, who knows if it's going to do anything. But hey, at least I got 60 acres of high value canola crop already up and going strong. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to go get out of my waders. I'm tired of walking around these things washing on a picker. And I don't know when I'll see you next, but I'll tell you, next time I do see you, we're going to be out in the field drilling some wheat. So appreciate y'all watching. See you on the next one.